How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video on the channel with me, OLTTV, and welcome back to the 5 things that I love and hate series. In this one then, as you can see, we have a 2020/2021 Golf GTI. So we've got this Volkswagen in. I really wanted to get the Golf R in to do one on a Golf R, but unfortunately I could only get the GTI. But this car hasn't disappointed us whatsoever. It's been absolutely lovely to drive, and I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is, but honestly it blew us away for the time I've had it. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm going to give you some of the 5 things that I've loved while having this car. Apologies in advance as well if you can hear any sort of background noise from all the birds in the trees, but this is the quiet spot in Battersea Park that I wanted to get this video out for you and show you the 5 things that I love about the Golf GTI. So let's get into it. First thing we're going to talk about with this Golf GTI then is actually going to be the red accents that you can see on the car. You've not only got that Golf GTI logo there, you've got the red calipers on the brakes coming out of the front of the car. You also have this red sort of trim, as you can see, just above the headlight. Lower part of the bonnet next to the logos. The Golf GTI itself is in red, and it also follows all the way around to the other side again with the Golf GTI there and the calipers on this side. Back of the car then, you do have obviously the red showing in through the back lights and the back reflectors. And I just think the red on this car looks so good, to be honest. It really sets it off. I think the Nardo sort of grey colour is really nice, or the crayony sort of grey, but in terms of the whole car itself, the red just sets it off, and I think it really works with the GTI. The second part of the car that I actually really loved was actually this sort of back area of the car. I just think all angles, when you look at the back of this Golf, it looks really, really sporty. And I know it is the GTI, so that's what it's all about. But just this back section, I just think that looks so nice. It looks so sporty, so aggressive. And when you come round to the back as well, and you see these exhaust pipes sticking out the bottom, as you can see in the sort of chrome, I just think it looks so nice from this back sort of area. I know it hasn't changed all that much from the Mk7. It has changed the headlights and got some slightly different curves and sort of lines to it, but the sort of back shoulder of the car, the slight spoiler at the top, and just the way it sits is very, very appealing to me. I think maybe if you were going to keep this car, you might want to lower it slightly, just drop it slightly on that back sort of axle, but honestly the way this car looks from the rear is so lovely. Stepping inside the car then, the inside is where this Mk8 Golf really does step things up. So once we get inside then, we'll close the door. You're greeted with this screen in the middle, digital screen. It's absolutely lovely, that, I think. So as standard on all the Golfs in the UK, you actually get these dual screens. They don't get much upgraded too much the higher spec you get, but these 2 screens are absolutely quality, and I've had loads of comments about it, to be fair, so this is actually going to be the 3rd and 4th thing that I do love. The third thing, is actually the screens. I think the screens are absolutely fantastic. It gives you a really nice sort of modern design inside the car. It lets you sort of see everything so much clearer when it's on a screen, I think. I know I'm going to get some comments that I have done recently about how you only want screens, you want iPads in your cars, whatever. No, it's not the fact of that, to be fair. It's just, it lets you see it so clearly in light or day that I think these 2 screens are absolutely fantastic upgrade on the old Golf. So that's going to be the 3rd thing. And staying on the screens, it's actually just going to be the infotainment as a whole on this is actually really good. You can see so much on these screens. It's spot on. You've basically got everything you could ever want on there, and it also comes onto the steering wheel as well. As you can see on the steering wheel here, we've got all these little buttons, like they're not even touch buttons. It's like haptic, so you press it slightly and you can feel the touch screen sort of respond to your touch. You've got obviously your heated steering wheel, you're flicking through songs, you're changing your displays on here, which I think's spot on as well. A bit like my Range Rover, you can put anything you want on that side, but we'll also keep the speed. On the left one, obviously you can change your consumption or your select level displays. And I just think this steering wheel as a whole, that's a little extra one in, is so nice. It's got the flat bottom steering wheel, which everyone loves, and it's got all the buttons you could ever need on it to get everything sort of in one place. It's not too clustered either. You don't find yourself pressing the wrong things. It's all nicely laid out. And just the feel of it as well. It's a heated steering wheel, which I was really impressed with. It warms up instantly and you get everything you need from it straight away. So the last thing I've loved about this Golf GTI, other than its driving capabilities, is actually the sound of the Golf itself. So it's not the Golf R. It's not the fully fledged, all power, all singing, all dancing Golf R. It is just the GTI. But when we turn it on, you do get that little bit of a rumble from it, to be fair. And if you rev it, you do get a nice noise coming from the car. It's not quiet, it's not too loud at the same time. If I'll just take you round to the back exhausts, you'll probably hear the bird more than you'll hear the car now. But it just has a nice little sort of murmur to it that isn't too much, isn't too extravagant, it isn't too out there. But it's just a nice sounding car. You put it in sport, and it's just a nice grumble to it. It's not like over the top, but at the same time, you know you're in a GTI. You know you've got that little extra power. You know you've got a little bit of exhaust on it, and it just does sound really, really nice to drive, especially when you put your foot down on a motorway or whatever and pull away. It doesn't lack power at all, this car, and honestly, it's been lovely to get a hold of and have a drive for a bit. I think the Golf R would be a step up, obviously, but unfortunately I couldn't get into one of them. So yeah, that has been the 5 things I've loved about this Golf GTI, and I'm going to add one more in, which is a cool little Easter egg for you. I didn't know what this button was, and I thought, oh, it's an alright little cup holder there, isn't it? This little button, so if you put your cup in there, press this little button, it'll hold onto your cup for you and spin, so you can have anything that small in, or if it's a bit wider, it'll hold it in there, and it'll just hold it in nicely. So when you're driving, it's not flapping about, your cup's not slamming side to side, and it just sits in. All you got to do is just push that in. So I thought that was quality, to be fair.